Hiya lovelies, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Linz. So we're making fruit loaf today. Now, confession, I made this last week and I was filming it, I thought, and then the memory got too full, stopped filming, so I lost half my footage. My own fault for not checking things beforehand. So hopefully I've managed to delete a load of bits and pieces and sort out the memory card. So hopefully, as we say, this should go okay today. Right, we're calming down first and I'm going to show you how I'm getting started. So in this bowl here, I've nuked it just a little bit too much. I had 70 grams of butter and 70 grams of brown sugar. And I am going to be using the hand blender today because it just makes life a little bit easier for me. So I'm just going to whisk all this together and then we'll show you, then I'll show you what else I'm doing. Now, in with this, I am going to be using some mixed spice today. So get the lid off. And we're going to be using 1 teaspoon of that. So I'm just going to pop that in there. And in here, I have 2 small eggs. Now, if you have large eggs, 1 large egg would do. And I also have 40 mils of milk. Now, if this is going to make a one pound loaf, you could quite easily double it up and make 2. I'm just going to whisk this together now. Now we're going to be adding in 125 grams of self-raising flour. So I am just going to, so you can see, I suppose. It's quite a simple recipe, this. And again, I am going to whisk this to combine everything together. Here I have 200 grams, and this is a dried mixed fruit. So I just got this in a bag, I think, from somewhere local, and that just goes the whole way in there. Now, we're not using the hand blender to do this bit because we don't want to sort of mash up the fruit. We don't want it to kind of, but it's just a case of combining it all nicely together like that. Now, that is an awful lot of fruit because this is a fruit loaf and I think it needs fruit. It needs fruit, yes it does, but I think, you know, you get a slice and it's only got maybe 2 or 3 bits in it, like a thing, then yeah. So I'm just going to move that whisk out the way for a moment. Now, anything you see in these videos, I do try and link below the video in what's called the description. So if you press on that, or sometimes it says more, and then that should bring you to all the links. So that should be about it. Now in here, this is one of my 1 pound loaf tins. I've just put a tiny little bit of sort of parchment paper in there. And one of you gave me a great tip to save the butter wrapper. And what I done is I've just kind of greased sort of like the edges. And all this now is going to go in, as you can see, to this. Now, if you've made sort of like one traditionally where you'd use the oven, you will know that fruit cake can take an awful long time to cook. But we'll get to that bit in a minute. And to try and make sure we get all that mixture. or as much as we can. And I've just thrown some across the counter, which, you know, is quite standard if you've been here before. Now, just try and level that out a little bit. You can just give it a couple of good taps as well. Right, now we are going to go into the air fryer. So I'm removing basket or tray 1, and in there I'm leaving the crisper tray in. I'm going to use this. That and put it in. Again, this will be linked down below. I get a lot of questions about this, so it's down there. So we're going to turn this on. Now, drawer 1, I am going to go onto the bake setting, but then I am going to go down to 150C. Let me see. I think that's 300 Fahrenheit, but I'll put it, as usual, somewhere up there. Now, we are going to go up to 50 minutes on this. Now, I know that does sound, I'm just going to press start. Ooh, where he is. I know that does sound like a long time, but it is fruitcake. And if I was doing this in the oven, then I'm probably looking at least that, but it would be a higher temperature. Now, the lower temperature works well with this bread from what I've done so far, or loaf, should we say? But you might have a different experience. So if you do, let me know down in the comments. But I'll be back with you in like literally a second. But for me, it's going to be 50 minutes and we'll see how it turns out. This has just finished its cooking. So we're going to take it out and have a look. And there we go. Hold on now. We just want to give it a bit of a poke and make sure that that's coming out clear, and it is. If for any reason it isn't, just don't be afraid, pop it back in for 5 minutes for the same temperature. Yeah, we're all clear there. We're just going to pop that out. And I'm just going to leave it up here now on a tray, just for a little while. Now, I do find the longer you leave these, the better. It's normally better to leave it maybe overnight for the next morning and then cut into it, because sometimes it can crumble a bit, and I find that I don't know, it just kind of stays together and tastes a little bit better the next day. But obviously, because we are videoing, then I'm going to have to leave it just a few hours to cool down, and then I'll be back. We'll cut into it and you can see for yourselves. Now, lovelies, it's been a few hours and we're going to take this out of the tin and have a look. Oh, that looks lovely. But of course, we're going to cut into it just to make sure. And there we have it. Oh, with a few bits that fell off, but that's why I say that if you leave it maybe till the next day, then it doesn't be as crumbly for some reason. I'm not sure the science behind that, but that there is my fruit cake, or fruit loaf, should I say. Right, lovelies. So please let me know down in the comments if you're planning on making this. If you've a recipe you've already done, that would be fantastic. And then maybe I can give it a try. So we'll see, because I do love it when you all leave me sort of like hints and tips and things for your recipes or how you do things in your air fryer, because that's what it's all about. It's all about learning together, cooking together, and trying to have a little bit of fun while we're doing it. So thank you so much for watching, and once again I am so grateful to each and every one of you. Take care, lovelies. I'll chat to you down below over on another video. Take care.